Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm doing this from my house for the first time. I'm getting my view adjusted here.
and I'm afraid I don't have any video.
Oh man, that's all right, Tim.
Okay. As long as you say it's okay, I'm fine.
And we won't have Andrea tonight. And Tim, I think she connected with you earlier.
Right, she did.
Okay.
And I may have a problem here because I was having some problem with my video before. Let me check something out. Oh, no.
And do both of you mean to have your hands up?
I will lower my hand.
Okay.
Let's see if I can.
Wasn't sure that you'd move me over as a panelist. That's the only reason.
Oh, I see. Yep, let me do that now. Okay, Judith, you should be a panelist now, and Tim, you should be as well.
Okay.
I'm clicking promote to panelist for you, Tim. Are you seeing any notifications?
No, but I think I'm having a.
Oh, it says you just declined.
I just declined.
That's what it said.
Try that again.
Okay, so I'm hitting promote to panelist now.
Okay, join as panelist.
There you go. Yeah, I'll start my video at 6 o'clock.
Oh, wait a minute. There we go.
All right, there's Cheryl.
Oh, good. I
There
exist.
you are, Tim.
That's good. Oh. Well, we got two people. That's a quorum, isn't it? That's
Almost.
three. We're going. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I'm gonna open this up. See, I think there's $100 fine for not showing up. Is that right?
I hope not. I'm in debt.
It's all that flying back.
I'm sitting in the nursing home so I can be here tonight.
Oh.
Cheryl, we should give you $100 for that.
Yeah.
As your
Hey, yeah,
parent.
you owe me.
Yeah, we owe you, other way around.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It looks like we have Judith coming too. I hope we get a little bit more of a full boat here. Well, everybody out enjoying the wonderful weather these days.
Yeah, for the last day, I understand it starts getting really cold. Is it going to be cold up there tomorrow?
Yeah, but we're not going to pay any attention to that. That's tomorrow.
Isn't it supposed to be 70 tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what
positive.
Alexa told me anyway.
Yeah, I saw that there was a cold front moving in too, Cheryl, but I prefer Steve's point of view.
Steve's version is better, huh?
It's better, yeah. Let's see.
I'm gonna walk back and get some ice. I just spilled my tea
Okay.
while we're waiting.
Yeah, well, we're gonna wait until we got a quorum, that's for sure.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So
There we go.
I tried to stream the, not that we're gonna talk about anything, but the
I got nothing.
candidate forum the
Hello?
other night, I couldn't find it. I tried and tried.
Huh.
So did they hold it, Judith?
They did hold it, and it was much better than the first one was. Much
Right.
better.
Did you go on the League of Women
No
Voters
sound.
website?
No, I didn't go on theirs because I thought that only that other one was sponsored by them.
It's on the League of Women Voters website and it's pretty easy to find.
So they recorded it?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look. Okay,
Okay, we'll give it another couple of minutes, even though we're already at 5 after, but something tells me we've got a couple more people that are gonna join. In fact, I'm
I
gonna,
don't have any sound. Nothing.
is Nancy still in town?
has Judith been brought in as a panelist?
Yes, Judith is a panelist. Let me check here. She should be fine.
Are you muted, Judith? She can't hear me.
She's not muted, but she might have her sound turned down on her computer.
Can hear anything.
Mhm.
Well, first I'm gonna call Nancy Wilson, because she was supposed to be here. I'll text her.
So is Nancy still in town? I'm here. Oh, there you
Oh, there
are.
we go. She magically showed up.
I
Technology
just
is
looked
wonderful.
away and you weren't there.
Okay, we
My
have,
alarm was set for
is-
6:30. I don't know why.
let's see, can Judith see anything?
I can see Judith.
I can see Judith. Let me get her a phone.
Well, I'm gonna lay this down for a minute.
Here. Oh, it's Judy.
Hello, I have no. To what? I can't hear any of you and I have no sound.
Nobody's talking. Oh, maybe nobody's talking. I can't hear Tim either.
Okay.
I can't hear Tim.
Is Tim just?
Tim
not
is on
on
mute.
that 'cause
Tim
he's
is
on
on
the
mute.
phone?
Tim,
He's
you're on
talking to
mute.
somebody else.
Yeah,
All right, now I can hear everybody.
okay.
I had muted myself so we wouldn't have a
Oh.
bunch of feedback here. Okay. That's great. We've got a quorum and better. That's 4 or 5 of us. We're good. So We're convening the October 23rd OSAC meeting. And we'll get going on the agenda right now. Once I get it up.
Roll.
Just a second, yeah.
Don't need to call the roll.
Yes, I will. Just a moment. Okay, roll call. We have Tim Beeson, Cheryl Klein, Steve Bremner, Judy Karnick, Nancy Wilson, and Robin Kovatz from OSAC here, and Jillian Rossi from staff, and Judith Chandler from council. And we'll let you know if anybody else comes in. And we're having minutes taken as usual now. Is that correct?
I
Uh,
believe so. This meeting's being recorded. So
Okay,
yes.
okay, all right, good enough, good enough. Okay, do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Is there anybody waiting in the wings,
Nope.
dying to communicate with us? Okay,
Tim, should we approve the minutes of the last 3 meetings?
yeah, we're getting to that right now.
Okay,
Okay, let's see. Draft minutes from July 24th, 23. Does anybody have any comments? I have one comment, and there was a statement in these that the OSAC money for phase 3 has been spent, and I don't think that's true. And Robin, we went through all this with Angela. What's her name? Angela. Yeah, me too. I can't think of her last name, but anyway, I got her first name. So we went through this with Angela, and I don't think we spent that. I think that $100,000 has been rolled over into to the future, and I think that is what's covering the our contribution to Serpentine master plan. So I guess we need to check on that again, but I'm pretty sure that money was not spent. And again, I will say, and I seem to be the only person on God's earth that remembers this, which makes it questionable. But I seem to remember that that money was requested because of some changes to the permeability of the concrete. And we were going to put down permeable concrete or permeable trail surface, and that changed, and the need to replace the bridge went away, and at that point the $100,000 was not needed. So we need to check all that out. Yeah, Nancy.
You're right, Tim. We budgeted for it, but it was never spent, and it won't be. Money came from other sources. They just didn't need the money.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
And I did check with Joel at the ribbon cutting, and he confirmed that.
Okay, okay. All right, great. Then let's see. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention is on the, okay, that's the July 24th. So nobody's got anything further on that. Let's vote to accept those minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 24th, 2023.
I
Okay.
second it.
Okay, everybody in favor, raise your hand. Wave them in the air. Okay, great. Approved unanimously. The next draft minutes are from 8/28 Does anybody have any? Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold here. Anybody have any comments on that?
I have a comment that then in 8/28, I was listed as an alternate member, but the month before I was approved to be a committee member.
Excellent. Well, let's see, what do we do about that? We change the minute? No, we don't change the minutes. What do we do about that, Nancy?
Yeah. You would change it.
The minutes.
Change the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be right. Okay, does anybody have a motion on that? Change the minute?
Are there any other changes first? No, and then I'd move to approve all the changes.
Okay, well, let me go to something here. Yeah, the Serpentine Master Plan. I was design services. I wanted to mention that Jillian had mentioned that in August, and I guess none of us were tracking that closely enough, so it suddenly came up on us that we had 2 days to reply to that RFP, and I was doing other things. I was traveling and some other stuff, so I couldn't do that. And nobody else found time to do it either. So one of the things we want to do tonight when we get to it is make sure that somebody is tracking that. And I think Judith is going to volunteer for that. Okay, I just wanted to mention that. So there are no other changes requested. Do we have a vote to accept the change that was requested to?
I
Let's
move
have
to
a mo-
approve the minutes of August 28th, 23 with corrections.
Okay, anybody?
I'm on a
Second.
meeting. Sorry.
I
Judy?
think Judy
I
said,
second.
Okay, everybody in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
I can't vote.
Yeah, okay. All right, approved unanimously. So now we can move on to the draft minutes for non-25-23. That was our planning meeting.
Oh, boy.
And does anybody have anything to say about that? Any corrections to those minutes? We're gonna go over a summary I put together on that I think we confabulated a couple of things, and I kind of pulled those out, and then we missed one thing at least. But as far as the minutes go, any comments? Okay, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the here we go, 9/25/2023 meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, please. Okay, approved unanimously.
I do have a suggestion though,
Yes,
kind of fault, but it's about all these minutes where they were highlighted in a dark blue. How should we?
yeah, that was tough.
Right. That's not readable.
They're really annoying.
It was tough.
The
I'm a little
blank
bit
was no
colorblind. I was
problem.
wondering if that was my problem.
So can someone change that for the next future? I mean,
Jillian,
not do it anymore.
Right, right.
Yeah, I can make that suggestion. No more highlighting in dark blue or green. It shows up darker when you print it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I can.
Okay, great. I don't think we need to take a motion for that. But,
And I think that was me, by the way, so sorry about that.
that's okay.
Oh, you were trying to make it, call attention to it. You did that.
I'll use yellow next time.
Okay, So, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of 9:25:23?
We did that.
Oh, we already did that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see, Parks and Recreation report. Any comments on that? Okay, I don't think we need to have a motion on that. We can just go on and Parks and Recreation Department. Jillian, did you have a report on that?
Yeah, I have a few updates. So I wanted to share that both Mile High Youth Corps and Renfee have Rocky Mountain Field Institute have finished their trail projects this month. And if you haven't been up the Inniman Trail leading to Red Mountain Trail, you really need to. Renfee did an amazing job. And I'm going to show you a before and after picture. So I'm going to share my screen really quick to show you our, whoops. All right, let me open both pictures real quick.
Hold on. Mute here.
Let's see. Show all windows. Okay. So let me know if you can see this. This is a picture of Carl from Renfee standing on a portion of the Inniman Trail. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Yes.
So extremely washed out from the rain, the big rains we had over the summer. So we identified this as one of the areas for Renfee to focus on. And now I'm going to show you the after picture from the same location. And this is the after picture from there. So they repaired that damage, and what they did was they installed timbers under the soil to help with drainage issues to prevent that from happening in the future.
I can't see that. Can anybody see that?
The after didn't come up.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Okay,
Yeah.
let me stop share, and now I'm going to share again because you really need to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So here is the after.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's amazing. I was so impressed when I went up there, and I checked in with the crew several days when they were doing their project. And this is just one section of trail they worked on, but I did want to
That's
highlight
great.
that. It's amazing. It's awesome. And we brought up timbers for them to use. So we helped bring the materials, and their crews worked for 3 weeks and had 3 volunteer days. So very, very proud of Renfee for that. Let's see. And
That's great.
yeah,
Is that west or east of the Red Mountain Trail?
That's
That's west.
west, yeah.
it's west of the Red Mountain Trail.
Is that on Red Mountain or
No, it's on
no,
Intamin.
it's on the Inniman, okay.
It's on Inniman. So you start at the Spring Street trailhead and you go up about a quarter mile, and that's where that section is.
Okay. Okay.
So beautiful hike, by the way. I'd recommend going to check it out. Nancy, did you have something?
Yeah, just while you're talking about it, I did walk it yesterday and I was amazed. They did some really important work, some rolling dips going up the road, the very first part of the trail after you
Right.
pass the gate. That's almost unrecognizable from what it was before too.
Definitely.
Yeah, and they did quite a bit. I was really surprised to see that. And the other place that you showed us, I didn't even remember it was that bad.
It was
I didn't
so
even
bad.
recognize it was done. It's really good.
Yeah.
And did
So-
Mile High work with them too at the same time?
Mile High worked at the same time, separate trail. So they were on Iron Mountain Trail.
Right.
And they ended up helping with some grading sections. They put in 3 timber steps to help with a very steep, kind of erosive section of trail. So they were there 2 weeks. Renfee was out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, Mile High took it all the way from the up to where the big washout is, up there in the last quarter mile or so.
Right.
Where you turn steep uphill and there's that big washout.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made it to the big washout area.
Yeah, and then wisely stopped at that point.
That might require some heavier machinery for sure.
Yeah, and I think Well, we'll get to that in the next section. We'll talk about trails and stuff, and we'll talk about
Okay.
getting the person that Andrea recommended out there. See what
Okay. And then I did want to mention that JR Engineering was selected for the design process for the phase 6 or phase serpentine, as we're calling it, for the Creek Walk Trail. And then thank you, Nancy, for sharing insight from COSA. We had a great meeting the other day, and she brought back lots of notes and resources from the Colorado Open Space Alliance conference. So I really appreciate that.
I hope other people can go next year. It's really worthwhile. Judith and Tim and I, well, I can't speak for them, but I enjoyed it and learned a lot.
I hope to go. Yeah, that sounds like interesting.
Really, really good networking and a really great group of people.
It's in Grand Junction next year, so put it on your calendar.
That's fun.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
Mhm.
And that's all I have from our department right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the one in Hawaii. Um, okay, so we're on to new business, and I'm sorry, I'm on the minutes. Gosh, we got a lot of stuff there. I think we're on to our first
This agenda is messed up.
agenda item. Our first and only agenda item. And I did that a little differently just because I wanted us to all get to this in one, get on the same page, both literally and figuratively, for all of these goals. So we're going on into the packet now, into OSAC accomplishments and goals discussed at the 9/25 budget meeting. Is everybody there? Everybody see that?
Getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first page and a little bit is
What page are you on, Tim?
okay, I am on page 21 in the packet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So our goals, and this is kind of funny the way it comes out with briefing this stuff to City Council. We had 5 goals identified for last year, and those are listed up here. The Serpentine Trail Management Plan, which we
Master plan.
didn't get to, but we funded. Black Canyon Master Plan, which we rolled over to 24. Red Mountain Trail improvements, which we did do for $30,000. We did more than that. And then I guess that's what we did, 30,000. And then Open Space Subcommittee, we completed that action item, and we tried it and it failed. Or I shouldn't say it failed, but it just didn't prove to be useful. So we got rid of that. And the same thing with the Trails Subcommittee. We tried it and decided it wasn't worthwhile. But the thing is, the way this happens, and I was with Shannon when he did this last year, is we're responding to a lot of stuff that comes along during the year. So trying to predict this stuff a year out is it's apparently worth it to City Council, but a lot of things change over the course of the year. And if you go down below to additional 2023 accomplishments, you'll see where all the money was spent. Bellbower Park, Fields Park, Creek Walk parcel, contribution to the Creek Walk, which again is being rolled over. 3-year contract with Rimfee, which we spent 20,000 of, and then the 2-week 2 Mile High Youth Corps. And if you add those things up, it makes sense. Add all that up and the budget carry of $317,000, and that's the net budget carry year to year. Then those things add up. So, but if you just throw them up there with what goals we accomplish, you'll be wondering where the money went. So I'll try to make that in the 10 minutes that I have with City Council. I'll try to make that point, and the same thing will probably happen next year. But Nancy, you have anything to say about that?
Nope, looks good.
So onward and upward to our goals and the 2024 goals. And this is what we came up with in our planning meeting. And I just wanted to walk down through these, and we can create any milestones that we want to right now. But the first thing that I wanted to do was, the first goal I have tonight is just to walk through these, make sure we're all on the same page. Everybody knows what their assignments are per se, and discuss a few places where we have holes in this. So the first one is to discuss the feasibility of a trails and open space expert on staff. And that's assigned to nobody at the moment. But I don't, yes, Nancy.
I can own that.
Great. That's I'm making notes as we go along.
Just a FYI, I think I forgot to tell Jillian this too, but at the conference, I did kind of an informal survey of trail managers and different people who work in trails and open space. And they all told me it would be hard to hire somebody part-time, but
Right.
yeah.
But maybe that idea of sharing something with the city would help.
Well, we can dive into this if you want. That's not a bad idea. Excuse me.
I'll report on it next time.
Okay, well, let's do that, because we can go down a rabbit hole there.
That's the goal, yeah.
But one thing I did want to say is, initially when we talked about this, it was something like 28,000 for a part-time person, for a seasonal person, and 56,000. And I think that number is up to 75,000 now. Is that right, Jillian?
Did we 75 for a full-time?
Yes.
Or
Fully
I mean,
loaded.
that seems a little high, but possibly including benefits and everything. Yeah, that would be the ballpark.
That sounds, so that's the number we're looking at, I think. I think we decided that the part-time person didn't make a lot of sense because we probably lose them every year.
And why don't I'll work with HR at the city and find out the cost.
Okay.
More or less.
All right, great. So we got that covered. Second goal is Black Canyon Open Space Master Plan. We had a little bit of a debate about this. I was saying we can't do that until we know what happens with the West Side property. And Nancy, I think you thought we could do a master plan before we found that out. And that's okay. We don't have to resolve that right here.
No.
But you and I ought to talk about that some more. You can educate me on how that would happen. Okay. Okay. Not yet. Thank you. So that's I own that. That was originally placed in Robin's basket, but she already has something in there. So a current update on that. I'm not sure how much I want to talk about there outside of a executive session. There are things that are in the public domain, I guess, the issues that we have, and But those things are all being talked about right now. And I'm not sure we want to go into that in this meeting. What do you think, Nancy?
I just
aware-
had a question. Jillian, did you have your meeting with the city of Colorado Springs? And, yeah,
No, we're meeting this Wednesday.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I think that's just another to-do is,
okay. Well, I'll just say for everybody that's wondering what the hell we're talking about is there's some movement going on there, but it's really up in the air what's going on and whether it's going to make any difference at this point. And you know, just talking about it isn't going to do anything, but just add more people, more confusion to the mix right now. So
I
if
guess the
it's-
other thing I'd say is that Denise has gotten involved.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I will say at the ribbon cutting, we met up with John Martin, who's the manager of Cedar Heights Homeowners Association. That was kind of interesting because he was peppering me with some questions and stuff. So something was going on there. I don't know. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that. We don't have any decisions to make right now, so we'll just leave it there. That was probably a completely incomprehensible bunch of comments. Let's see. Okay, we've got to review the post plan, and you want to tell us about that, Nancy?
We're gonna do the first 15 minutes tonight. That's what we decided, is we just work through it and devote 15 minutes to every meeting and going through the post plan, and that's all I have to say about that. We'll do it. It's later on the agenda.
Okay. Can we do that right now? People haven't had the chance to look that over.
Well, it's in the
So-
packet.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to look that over. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can look it over together, but let's finish this part.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
first.
Trail maintenance, that's as always on Andrea, which it's been doing a great job of. And we'll talk at this point about the suggestion that she made, Jillian, about having, and I forget the name of the person that she recommended.
It's Chad Landowski with Traction Trailworks.
Sounds like the guy we need. And this is what we're talking about here is that section of trail on Iron Mountain that's really washed out deeply and badly, and it's on a road bed that is just about to, well, it's in the process of disappearing on us. Not very fitting for bicyclists and stuff. So we've got it looks like a piece of property that needs mechanical work on, and it's accessible. I've talked to the Crystal Park people, the Crystal Park manager, homeowners association president rather, and they said, sure, you can come up and use our road to get there. So we've got that cleared, and now we need a number from Chad. And I guess you're already in contact with him or going to be in contact with him, Jillian?
I was waiting until this meeting, but I'm happy to reach out and have them give us a quote for the trail work. So I can start that tomorrow, just getting a hold of them.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, Nancy.
If it's over $5,000, Jillian, we're gonna have to open it up, right, to bids?
Yes.
Okay.
So I gave Jillian a couple of names of a couple of other companies that do this mechanical work that I
Okay.
picked at the conference. So if we end up having to send out an RFP,
Okay. Yeah, if possible, if it's not over $5,000, it would be great to have a number to add to our briefing for council. as upcoming expenses. Anyway,
And Tim, to clarify, are you looking for that to be done this year or in 2024?
2024.
Okay,
They're never going to get to us this year, although Andrea did say they've got some time right now, right? Or that's what she said in the email,
right.
that they had some time right now, so it might be something they can fill in right now. And see what they'll do. Okay.
Do you know if they've seen it then? They've seen
No,
it?
they haven't seen it.
Oh, maybe they should look at it before they decide if they have time to do
Yeah,
it.
probably so. Okay, so Andrea will be continuing in her post of handling the trail stuff as it comes up. And then we've got a couple of trail builds that we want to look at. And the first one, this is goal number 5, is Bilbauer Park. And there's due dates on here, I should have been saying. Trail maintenance is ongoing through 2024. Trail build on Bilbauer Park. We have a March due date on that to conduct a public on-site walkthrough and develop some estimates on the trail costs and a contract. Maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't, for an alignment of the trail. And
This
the
is
alignment
the
means
trail from Colorado Avenue up, Manitou Avenue up to Bilbao.
or Bilbauer down.
Yeah, either way, but that's where you're talking about the whole trail.
That's what we're talking about, yeah. So let's see. Robin, I don't suspect that you've even walked that, have you?
No, I have not. And when I took ownership, I then later I was thinking, well, what did that mean?
Yeah, okay,
So-
that's a good question. Yeah, that means that you're going to get conversant on those terms, and you're going to do a walkthrough on the property, a public walkthrough. We're going to do it. I'll be there with lead that, and we'll probably go out there and do a walkthrough with just you and I, so you'll have some idea what's going on there. And then you're probably going to do a lot of talking with Andrea and Nancy about what it means to get an alignment on the trail, to get a big quote on the alignment. And so there are people here that know a lot more than me, and Andrea and Nancy are 2 of them. And it's probably going to cost, I don't know, Nancy, what, $10,000 to $15,000, something like that.
It's very, very difficult to estimate trail work. It's really hard. I think the first step is where it says public walkthrough. I'm not sure anybody will want to walk through, but I think we should have, everybody on OSAC should walk through. We should have one of our site visits and all walk through and talk about it. And that way Robin can learn about it, and we can kind of maybe form some consensus about how much money we would spend for one thing without even seeing it. It's just, I found
that was the idea, to do a public walkthrough, and that will be all of us, but you got to make it public, so whoever shows up.
It's so hard to estimate how much trail work is, even with professionals. I found, I mean, you can go out there and walk the trail, and they'll do it not in terms of money, but in terms of time. So many hours, so much an hour, it's so many hours to do it, and it's just it will be a rabbit hole, sort of. I mean, you can just get estimates from people and then know that it might be under and over than that, but I would start with Rimfee, definitely. And
yeah.
As far as trail alignments goes, I don't think we have that much width I think we've got to go pretty much right down that draw. You know, so anyway.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what we
walk
got.
it with-
That's what we got. The alignment is within, probably 50 feet or 100 feet of that draw down there. But it's not as bad as you'd think it would be. As far as a walking trail, it's not that bad. As far as a bike trail, that's a whole other matter. I don't have any idea how to estimate that.
Well, maybe everybody else is real familiar with it, but I'm not familiar with it. I would need to
Yeah.
walk it up, and get more familiar with it.
Yeah, well, let's do that. Why don't we set up a time, and you're not going to be here, Nancy, but let's go ahead and set a date for a public walkthrough on that. And this is all weather dependent, of course.
Can,
Yeah, go ahead, Judy.
well, I just wanted to ask Robin, I haven't done this either. I would like to do it. Would you consider doing this together? I mean,
We're gonna have a public,
Can we do that?
we're
Well-
gonna have a public meeting, Judy, where we're all gonna walk through it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have a assignment.
So I think she's meaning to learn the whole process.
Yeah.
With all this trail stuff that you and Nancy and Andrea and Judy and I are like, we don't know what's going on. So I
Okay.
can keep Judy, meet with her, let her know what it is we're doing, and it'll just be two of us,
Oh, okay, I
so that
see.
she
I
learns
just want to
also.
see if I can be on the learning curve too.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's what I was asking.
And you guys can
Um,
get together and walk it as much as you want.
Yeah,
There's nobody else from OSAC there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That'd be fun.
Okay, do we want to set a date on this?
Yeah.
To have the public walkthrough on the Billbauer Park? First of all, does anybody have any issue with that?
It's hard. I'll tell you that.
It's not well, let's put it this way. It's boots and long pants.
Mhm.
Because it's overgrown like crazy and you're walking on rocks and stuff like that, but it's not that terrible. It's doable. So let's see. Are we going to go ahead and set a date for this?
Yeah.
All right. We're getting into that time of the year where
are we looking at a weekend time because the evening is getting dark?
Mhm.
that sounds like a good idea.
I think by the time we get something on that maybe the time will have even changed. I think maybe we should look at a weekend.
Okay.
How about either the 4th or the 11th?
4th or the 11th of
Mhm.
November?
I cannot do the 4th.
Okay. How about is Sundays okay with people? Nope. Okay. Then we're to the Saturday, the
11th? What about the 11th? Saturday, the 11th.
Okay, and shall we make it at 9 o'clock?
Okay.
And Veterans Day is not gonna be a problem, is it?
What's that?
That's Veterans Day. Is that gonna be a problem for anybody? Like a parade or something that they have to go to?
Nope.
I don't know. Anybody got a problem with that? Okay, let's make it 9 o'clock, Billbauer Park walkthrough. And
Are we gonna start at the top at Bill Bauer? Or at the bottom? Do you
yeah,
want
you're gonna have to walk up and back anyway, so let's meet up at Billbauer Park. That's the easiest place to park. There's always parking up there. Billbauer open space walkthrough.
And this,
That's what we'll
because
call
we're there, we have to advertise this, right?
Yep.
Oh,
And
this-
there'll be,
Do we have
if
time?
if we get 3 people, we'll be happy.
They'll be sorry.
We'll figure a couple hours for that, because we have to walk it, in both directions and talk
Or you
about
could-
it.
Or you could shuttle.
That would be really shameful.
Yeah,
Shameful.
right. Embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing. Okay, and hopefully we can get some of the other people pulled into this. It'd be nice to have TJ on that, since
Yeah, it would.
he's the godfather of it at this point. We don't have Shannon. But I'll get something out on that. Good.
Now I'm asking the question, is there something Robin and I should be doing before this walk about this, or we're all gonna go to the walk and then talk?
You know, you could encourage it. You want to make sure Andrea
Andrea's on, yeah,
can do this meeting. Yep.
right,
And
right.
you know, I think it's a posted meeting, but if you know a trail builder, you know, can just tell them we're having an open meeting if they're interested.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we
anybody
could do that with the Kimley folks, the
Anybody who's
Kimley Horn people.
Huh?
We could ask the Kimley Horn people if they wanted to come along.
Yeah,
and what about somebody from Rumford or from,
yep.
I don't know if we want to get competing.
no?
I think because we have Rimfy under contract,
Yeah,
I know we've probably used them for this year. It would be good if we could just, even if we have to pay them for a walkthrough with you guys.
get Rumpy, okay.
I think it's worth
And
it.
this other Len, that guy too, Kandowski? Both?
That's the mechanical guy, right? You don't want him,
Okay, we don't want him.
right? Isn't that the
Right.
mechanical?
Right, we don't want him.
Yeah.
So just try for somebody from
Okay. Andrea Rumpy, who's,
You can write the project manager for Mile High Youth Corps down here, or the region. They'll give you an estimate of how long they think it would take, how many weeks of youth corps work it would take to do. It might not be.
I don't think they're gonna have I don't think they're gonna have a clue how to do this. We need somebody that's got some real trail building expertise.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think-
at some other project, I remember having Rumphy use my high youth corps for some portions of that project, or we talked about that, like them be the supervisors. So maybe they
Yeah,
could later.
yeah, that might happen, but that's way down the road
Mm.
when we decide that. We need somebody that knows.
Yeah,
whether or not-
Rimfy
Actually-
uses Mile High Youth Corps for their volunteer work. I mean, sometimes they pay them like a small stipend as well. But yeah, because Rimfy has their staff, then they have a lot of volunteer people that help them, including Mile High Youth Corps.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we need somebody that's got the expertise to say, to have some idea where the trail is gonna go.
Okay.
And how it's gonna be built, because there's a lot of rocks, big rocks around there that a walking trail could go over. We don't know about a bicycle trail. I think that's a stretch. But we want somebody that can talk us out of doing anything stupid, so.
Jillian, could you ask some of your cohorts in Colorado Springs and stuff who they would recommend calling?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm happy to invite Rimfy also to this walkthrough.
Great. Okay, will you be there on Saturday, the 11th?
Yeah, I wouldn't miss it.
Oh,
It's on
okay,
my
good.
calendar.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, we'll set up that meeting and hopefully
Thank you,
people will be
thank
able
you.
Okay, moving right along. This Oak Ridge Trail that I keep mentioning. I think the only thing we want to do on that right now is get people out there to look at it. And if you don't know where that is, I think I have a map at the end of the packet here. I've got, let's see, on page
30? No, that's Bill Bauer.
Yeah, on page 31. There is a map. And can everybody see that?
Yeah.
It's the satellite view. And the
Oh, there
green
it is.
area is property that we own. And then over to the left, looking at the map, there is a big piece of property that we also own. The trouble with this piece of property is that it's very narrow in that the first half of it. So it makes it very challenging building a trail there. And where this goes from, most of you probably know where the Oklahoma Trail is. It's the old Inman Trail that runs right by the high school, the middle school, and then it runs right into a housing area over there between there and when it hits Pawnee. So right about halfway in there is where this piece of property is. If you're looking up south, which is uphill towards Iron Mountain, that's where that property is. And it's a little hard to envision, but if you look up that parcel number and do a little zooming in and zooming out, you can get a pretty good idea of where that is. So the thing is that it looks really inviting as a trail. It might not be developable as a trail. It doesn't give us a whole new access to Iron Mountain, but it cuts off a little over half a mile or so to get from Ridge Road, Oak Ridge Road, which is up in Crystal Park. It'll connect Oak Ridge Road down within, just a short walk to the middle school and the high school. That might have some attraction to people as a corridor for kids going back and forth to school from up there in Crystal Park. Everybody's silent on that.
So is Oak Ridge Road?
Yeah,
Is Oak Ridge Road the Iron Mountain Trail?
Yeah, it's the trail that comes in right before you get to the push up the final hill on Iron Mountain, where you're actually walking up the final hill where the old McGee property was.
So that's the Iron Mountain Trail.
That's the Iron Mountain Trail, right?
So Oak Ridge Road is the Iron Mountain Trail.
Is the Iron Mountain Trail. Yeah, at that point, it is the Iron Mountain Trail. So if you start coming down on the Pawnee side, there's a long trail that
there's if you follow, there's a road that's pretty overgrown now that goes down to the cemetery. It's actually crosses Steve Beisel's property. So I'm just trying to understand where this property is you're talking about is.
Right.
Is it to the west of that road that goes down?
Up just to the right of the green shading there, it says Stephen Beisel. That's his property. Yeah.
Right. So this property, let me look again. Okay, so there's really, you're talking about making a trail from the Iron Mountain Trail or the Oak Ridge Trail, whatever you want to call it, down to the junior high school. But there's no it's sort of a ridge or it's very steep terrain. I'm not sure where you want to build this trail.
It is very steep. I don't like it myself.
The way to do it is to go straight down that road. But that problem with that is you have to cross Steve Beisel's property.
That is the problem.
So I don't understand how you want to do something with this narrow property. That's what I'm not understanding.
Okay, well, the narrow property is, it might be the killer. That's about 400 feet wide, what we're looking at there. That
But
piece
there's
of property.
really, unless you can like build a trail along the steep slope going down towards the cemetery. I guess you could do that, but
No, this
I don't
goes,
know.
this
It's-
goes
it's-
down, it hits the Oklahoma Trail, which is quite a ways west of the cemetery.
okay.
Yeah. Okay,
I guess I
well,
have to see exactly where you're talking about. I
yeah,
have to go walk it.
so that's what we're talking about here.
That's what you're talking about, Tim.
Okay, well, this might be a
I don't-
wild idea that's not,
Whoa.
but you know, I've walked it with Shannon and Seth, and it seemed doable, but it's really very nice when you get up past where the where this other piece of Manitou Springs Trail hooks in. I mean, there's already trails up there that walk on that. The trouble is, it's without the width, it makes it difficult. But it's doable. We decided it was doable. Okay, I'm seeing all the enthusiasm here. Why don't we go ahead and deal with the Bill Bauer Park?
Well, I'm willing to walk up, with you, Tim, if you want to just take yet another person up there and take a look
Yeah.
at it. and-
Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I'll start out with just taking people up there, onesie twosies. And we'll see what people think. Steve, I'd like to walk up there with you. I can tell you're really excited about this. So.
Well, I'm curious. I'm not excited yet.
Okay, well, all right, I'll work this on my own and see if I can work up gen up some enthusiasm for it. Okay, I think we can just leave that now. Let me get back to here. So, okay, this is Tim Beeson's wild idea, yada, yada, okay. Okay, assist with city outreach to landowners. Here's a good nebulous one. This was a goal that came out of the planning meeting. And Jillian, I think what this means, and I know what this means. First of all, we did that assessment of the odd lots, that 71-page document of all the odd lots and stuff like that, and nobody cares. That's all right. We got it done. We needed to get it done, and it's sitting there on the shelf someplace. Anybody can take a look at it if they want. But I'm afraid this might be another one of those instances. And what we're talking about here, outreach to landowners, means that we're reaching out to landowners to see if they want to sell or gift their property in certain areas. And the one that jumps out is on that north escarpment of Red Mountain. Okay, we've got 30 some odd lots out there, and there's a bunch of private property in there. None of it can be used for anything, or not very little of it can ever be used for anything. And the idea was that we would reach out, we'd start talking to the landowners there and get them all excited to give us their property. And we could connect all that together and make it a part of the Red Mountain open space. I can see I've got you excited about this already, Jillian.
Well, I'm trying to remember how we worded this at the budget retreat. I think the actual goal for this one, Tim, was to create a strategy for this, not necessarily to reach out this year. That's
Right.
what I remember from the meeting.
I agree.
Yeah, plan a strategy for
Okay.
contacting landowners who might potentially want to donate or sell their land. Yeah,
And I think this was one we were going to loop in the planning department to ask for their assistance and thoughts on.
right, right. And yeah, well, okay, maybe that clears that up, because what I was going to say was we want to know somebody really wants to do this before we put a lot of work into it. And I think what we found out was the odd lot analysis was that everybody wanted that done about a year ago or 2 years ago when Dylan was here. And by the time we got it done, I don't think anybody particularly cared. It's nice to have on the shelf, but that's about it. So we don't want to do that.
Who did the analysis?
That was OSAC. We did it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. See? Yeah, it's
That's awesome.
it was a pretty good document, and it has a lot of information in it, but it didn't exactly stir up a lot of interest. But we'll use that, and we'll go to the planning department. We meaning you, me, and whoever else is interested, and well, probably you and me, so we don't have to make a public meeting out of it, and see if planning wants to do anything about this.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, so
I'll get in touch with you in the next few weeks, and we'll put something together for going to planning and talking to them and seeing if they want to do anything with this. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, and number 9 is supports Serpentine Drive Trail Development.
I think we skipped 8.
Pardon me?
I think you skipped 8, right?
Oh, did I? Create a plan for the Creekside property. Sorry. Yeah, the Fields Park. And I think we're going to call this is now the Fields Park open space. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Judy. Due date, middle of the year, next year. Owner Tim Beeson. This should really be Nancy, but since you picked up that other one.
No, I can report on this.
Okay.
I met with Jillian and told her about a resource I learned about at the conference. CSU does a small parcel review. And when she has the time, I think you're going to call them, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So we can start with getting an assessment, and they'll look at everything like noxious weeds that are on the property and all that, and give us some ideas for, because it's a riparian area, that kind of thing. I think they're mostly kind of focused on agriculture, but she said they would do any size parcel. So
and do they charge for this?
No, it's free. So that would be a good first start.
Great.
That would be really cool.
So that's where we are.
Okay.
And I hope they'll come.
Okay, Nancy. And that was CSU. Small parcel.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And then what is the one that I was talking about? The number 9, support the Serpentine Drive Trail Development, which we've kind of got going on right now. We've got somebody selected, right, for the design. Is that right?
Yes, JR Engineering.
Okay, and I don't have anybody on this. And
I'll do that.
who was that?
I'll do that.
Okay, Judy. Why don't you,
Well, I'm sorry, Julian, what was the name of the designer? JR?
JR Engineering, the project lead on this phase it's still our city engineer Dole Gerbenek.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So what, does someone just want to tell me, does that just mean giving everybody updates at meetings on what's happening with the Serpentine?
Yeah, giving everybody updates at meetings, but you're probably going to need to be conversant with the master plan. I don't know, does the master plan go all the way up to Serpentine Drive at this point?
Oh, yeah. And I wouldn't worry about being conversant with the master plan
It's going to change.
because it keeps changing, kind of.
And
a
this
little
is, this is
Well,
the,
you ought to at least know what's in it.
Yeah,
Okay, and there's probably going to be some other stuff, like you want to know what's in that RFP, or rather the proposal that we've selected. You need to get some eyes on that. So there's stuff you need to know. So
Okay.
that's great, Judy. Thanks.
would I get that through Jillian or through the park? I don't know what the relationship now is with the parks on this project.
Judy, I can send it to you.
Wait. But should it be should I also be in contact with parks or the park committee?
No, this is definitely a trails
Okay,
issue.
okay.
Yeah.
Get it.
No,
Thank you.
that's great. That's great. And we seem to be taking on a little bit more direct involvement than we did on the rest of the creek walk.
Okay,
So yeah, we'll find out what
has-
what's really expected. I don't think we know what's really expected of us at this point.
okay. Does anybody know generally what happened after that meeting? The guy who wanted to buy or did buy the property and was going to turn it into a paid parking lot at the top. And then all those people showed up and
Yeah, he bought it.
He bought, I know, but then he had that meeting. Nobody has, so is he going through with it?
No, I've talked to him. That's terrible. Sorry. I've talked to him, and yeah, he's bought it. They're going to use it as a parking lot. And Danu from Parks and Rec was interested in us buying a piece of property up there, which was not reasonable. I asked him about that, and he said, "Yeah, I'll sell it for $1 million." So that's not going anywhere.
Okay.
He's not happy with the city at all.
Okay.
He's one of our many pissed off developers. So.
Okay.
Okay, so that's great. We've got all these things assigned. Cheryl, you were left out, and we can certainly find something for you to do if you're feeling left out.
Well, I might just, just a sec. Yeah, I'm not on mute. I could assist. I just kind of need to see where I am
I
with
know.
traveling back and forth, but
know.
I can jump in whenever I can call some of you people. I wrote down who's in charge of the people that just volunteered tonight. So,
Okay, Steve, you kind of got off scot-free too.
Don't worry, it won't last.
Okay. All right, so we've gone through all of that, and that's great. And when I put together the briefing to City Council, I will am I supposed to include these goals in order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it would be better to include the ones that we actually had anticipated money going out on, because that's kind of their interest. So I think I will do that if that's.
I just do the first 3 and that's it.
Well, I'll do the first 5. That seems to be what they want. 5. So.
Taking care.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I think we're done with that. And let's go back to the agenda. And that's all we had on the agenda. So
It is.
Nancy, was there something in there? Let me see, maybe it's,
Yeah. Number one under old review of OSAC accomplishments and goals discussed. Oh, no, I guess that's not it. Well, I don't care. You can do it. Can I have 3 minutes to walk people through this? How we're going to
absolutely,
process?
absolutely. I didn't think there was anything in here.
I thought that's what we talked about putting it or some, anyway. Okay.
You know, we were going to add that to the agenda at
Right.
this point. We didn't have time to put anything in there. If you have a piece of,
I
if
do.
you have something
So
that
if
you
you
want
go,
to
we
add,
got, it's in your packet, starting on page 25. So if everybody wants to get,
oh, good, it did get in there. Okay, sorry about that. It wasn't on the agenda,
but it's here.
but it's here. Great, great.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So if everybody can be there, I hope you can all bring that up. Great.
Yes.
So, sorry for the color coding. I did this the first time when we had the Open Space Committee and the Trails Committee. So I looked at, you know, who would be assigned to each one of these goals and action plans. So the following pages are all the goals and their action plans that pertain to OSAC. So you understand the post is pair of goals and OSAC goals. I've only pulled out OSAC goals. And then what I did is just copy them in here. So the first one, we can just, well, we'll look at a couple. So this first one, promote, investigate, and implement the continued development of linear park system. This is the number one goal. This is the Creek Walk Trail. So there aren't any action steps under that. We're just continuing to do that. It's ongoing. We're supporting it with money and time, and that kind of thing. And by the way, while I at the subject, Jillian and Tim and Cheryl and I were all at the ribbon cutting for phase 3 on last, whenever it was, Tuesday, Friday. And Tim gave a very nice speech and the media was there and woohoo. So
I wasn't there, but I wanted to be.
it was great. It was a celebration. And the trail is just looks so good and it's getting so much use. Okay, goal 4. So obviously goal 2 and 3 belong to somebody else. So I'm skipping to goal 4, provide compliance with an ADA for users of all public parks, open space, and trails. Now that's a steep one. We're not going to be able to do that, I think, ever. It's kind of interesting, but you can see here one of the action plans under this is set priorities and designate sufficient annual funds to finance completion planned improvements, blah, blah, blah. We do that to some extent with the funding we've done on the Creek Walk Trail, which isn't going to be completely ADA, but it's a lot ADA. So the idea is that we would take 15 minutes of every meeting and kind of go through, update, or cross off the action plans, or maybe even something as big as a goal. I don't know. And when we're done, we basically would have revised the post plan for us. And then if, you know, whatever the city decides or Para decides we need to update the post plan, we will have kept our portion of the post plan kind of up to date and know what changes we want. And what we want to delete or add or whatever. Does that make sense, Timothy?
Yeah. Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to drill into these right now, or did you want to just keep going?
I was just gonna, I think I've been here long enough.
Well,
That's just,
This is exactly the kind of thing that I think we want to change. Provide compliance with the Americans with Disability Act, blah, 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 blah.
but that's not what we're gonna be able to do. All we're gonna be able to do is say whether we want that taken out in the future. We don't get to amend the post plan on our own.
No, but we should be able to suggest a amendment for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise,
Somebody we should
otherwise,
make,
what are we doing here? Yeah.
we should make note of this as we go through and make recommendations or cross out or check
Okay,
off each
That's
of
what I
these.
was suggesting we do.
Yeah.
Is we have a goal here that there's no way that we can possibly be compliant with.
Uh-huh.
So maybe we should amend that goal or suggest that city amend that goal to something that's actually doable.
Okay.
And probably.
And you're referring to goal 4, right? With the ADA?
Because we can't make all our trails and don't want to make all our trails ADA compliant. That would be crazy. You know, we're going to do that with Red Mountain. I don't think so. So I think we have to soften that in some way. We don't want goals in here that can't possibly be reached.
Right.
So why don't we say something like
Add where possible.
where reasonable.
Where
And
reasonable.
Then we got to define what reasonable is. Somewhere along there. But I think we have to make, that's exactly what we should be doing as we go through here. Do you agree or disagree?
Maybe,
I agree, but I'm not taking notes.
Okay, I'll take notes. Well, this is going to be on video, so we can go back and look at it.
maybe you could also just suggest the word, instead of the whole wording, you could change the whole thing and just say support efforts. Because you're right, most of the trails you can't, most of the trails we couldn't afford. I mean, that's like ADA is so expensive.
Right.
I mean, it's not just a matter of putting in sidewalks, it's railings and yada, yada, yada.
You know, maybe the change needs to be different because what I realize is that Parab, they really do want all their parks to be ADA compliant. And they're working, and that's their goal, but it's not our goal. So it maybe we need to specify this shouldn't be under in our wheelhouse. This should be.
Okay, that's great.
Maybe we suggest that they strike out open space and trails altogether because it's just not doable at all.
Right. Just take us off of there.
Well, that's that belongs in Parab's thing, and I took it for us too. But you know, it also says public park sites, and we're not in charge of that. So anyway.
That's why I would say just strike out the open space and trails and just take that last section out and leave the parks in there.
Exactly.
That's a good idea. Just get rid of open space and trails.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, keep in mind, these are just suggestions. It might be years before the plan actually changes.
That's great. Okay.
Okay, so so the next one is focus land conservation efforts on valued areas, including those that are components of the community's visual character, biological and ecological resources, community development vision, and trail connectivity. So overall, that goal, everybody, I'm assuming, still agrees with that goal. And then if you dig down, so one of the action plans is to concentrate future acquisition in 4 larger land acquisition areas: general area north of Highway 24, which we've done with Black Canyon, northwest of Iron Springs, south of Ruxton Avenue, and south of the cemetery. Cost per acre varies depending on size and locations. Additional operational costs on parcels, blah, blah, blah. So I think we're always doing that. I haven't, or I've forgotten about it being spelled out relative to certain areas. And I don't know the reasoning for all these areas necessarily, but if you really thought about them, there probably are reasons. It's the only place there's space to do anything, I guess. I don't know. But anyway,
Well, some of this is kind of interesting. South of the cemetery, um, that's the Beisel property. That's also the property where I'm suggesting we have that Oak Ridge Trail. That's
It's funny that the
southwest of the cemetery.
in the high school, yeah.
In the high school, yeah.
You got to keep in mind how these are, but well, anyway, another thing to call your attention to is this is a long-term goal for OSAC. So all of these, are assigned, and they're also assigned whether they're short-term or long-term. So we could just concentrate on some of the short-term ones and see if we've gotten that done also. So anyway, that's 6.1, 6.2, identify and engage funding and implementation partners to improve the financial feasibility of large conservation projects. We haven't done that at all. We're doing that on a little parcel when we talk about the West Side LLC property, but we haven't done it on big parcels, and we really don't have any big parcels available. I mean, we've bought two 30-some acre parcels, which is pretty big for us. But yeah.
Isn't the Palmer Divide Land Trust a partner at some point?
Oh yeah, we've partnered wherever we needed to. We've partnered with OSAC, and I mean not OSAC, but GOCO. Yeah, whatever it takes. It seems to me we've had a group that's all about buying property, and we have. So anyway.
Well, we've got a situation right now where we wish we had a little bit more
Right.
interaction with Cedar Heights owners association.
Right. Back to 6.2. I think we're always looking and eager to identify funding and partners for sure. We talk about that we just talked about that for half the meeting with trails. So anyway, evaluate potential acquisitions based on updated acquisition criteria from the open space section of the master plan. You can look at that. It's things like trail connectivity, view shed, preserving wildlife areas, a whole bunch of things like that. And then, and hopefully we're continuing to do that with all of our purchases. Prepare a general listing of acquisition possibilities and update annually based on changes. That's what your committee was doing, Tim, the acquisitions committee.
Right.
Or at least you proposed to do that.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, it was,
and
it didn't get much support. We'll see if it does when we go after it with planning this time around.
We can continue to do it, right? We haven't met the goal. Is that what you're saying?
well, we can prepared the listing of acquisition for a lot of the ones that would like, yeah.
Well, we got to the point where in that document where we had identified a lot of properties that were potential acquisitions. I'm glad you brought us to this point. And thus far, there hasn't been a lot of desire from staff to take that on, because that's pretty much, that's going to require effort from staff, from planning and somehow contacting people to do that.
Well, you guys, you and Shannon had a good start of that. You had a whole list of properties. Well, not really. No, we're more opportunists.
I have a list of properties that would make sense to go after for that for the addition to the Red Mountain open space.
Mm-hmm.
I have those properties identified.
Okay. So anyway, we're doing that. So it's been well over 15 minutes, and we said we would devote 15 minutes every meeting to doing this.
Okay,
And I hope people will read in advance a little bit and think about some of this stuff, especially
Yeah.
if you have questions on that. And anyway, that was my plan, is to just work through this for 15 minutes every meeting and talk about it as much as you want to, and kind of update as we go, see if there's anything we can pat ourselves on the back about or not. And yeah, just do that.
okay,
Thank
Nancy.
you, Nancy, for pulling all of that together. We have something to reference back and forth. Make sure we're, identifying the things we really need to look at.
Good. Yeah. And, it's interesting. If you don't read anything else in the post plan, you go to the back and look at this exact list that I cut and pasted, and it's interesting what we could.
No,
should.
I don't know if we should do it tonight, but any changes that we're gonna recommend, we should probably vote on.
Oh, I don't think so. We don't need to vote on it. I mean, we're just taking notes. I think it's going to be a writing process. We're going to, just make a list of our recommendations. And then if they ever decide to update the post, we can submit it.
We had a meeting
We
and
probably need to vote on it, at that time.
he said they are going to update the post plan, post plan.
They haven't asked us for any money yet. Some, ideally, but these things cost a lot of money, Judy, a lot of money.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody know, I just lost track. Did the fence come down finally on the new property? It's still up?
No,
The fence is still up for right now.
Is there a reason for that, or just can't get to it kind of thing?
Can't get to it right now. It's a very large project, and we're
Mhm.
figuring out where we're going to store the rolled up fence in our yard. Honestly, we're doing a huge yard makeover up at Public Works. So once we have a location identified and we have enough staff to collectively pull those posts out and wrap everything up, we'll be able to get to it. So we're hoping before we get some serious snow this winter, or the ground freezes also.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Robin, just so I have it, can I get your phone number?
Yeah, you ready? 719-930-7965.
Great, thank you.
and I think that's great that you're getting involved on that, the two of you. Thank you.
We can mess up twice as well. It's always good. And blame each other, right? Perfect.
Okay, I think we're done with the agenda. So unless anybody has something more to say, I think we'll conclude the meeting tonight. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And it's seconded. And thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Hey, Tim, I have
Bye.
one more question for you. Tim?
Yeah.
Question. So I'm just looking at, this is on page 7, but this is the PARB report. It's not ours. But it's talking about Serpentine Drive, and it says, discussion around moving forward on Rainbow Falls and coordinating with Alpha. Do you think I should call GNU 2 and see what they're up to there about that? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, just keep the don't get pulled into too much Parab stuff.
Oh, I was just looking for an overview about where it's at.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, when I say that, I like GNU. She's always she's always working on something.
Okay.
So
Then I would have some idea of where things are at, and I could share that with Robin to get started.
yeah, great. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
Night, Steve. Night, Judith. Night, Cheryl.
Bye-bye.